Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in SmackDown Live. Who needs Raw?
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it Raw. Oh, baby, I like it Raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Also available wherever fine podcasts can be found. And whenever you guys out there hit that subscribe or download button, if you're listening to this as opposed to watching it at YouTube, we want to say thank you.
Yes.
Because that only enhances the show. It helps us out. It raises our profile. When people get on the iTunes Sports and Rec and they're like, I want to know about wrestling, then they see us in the top 150 whenever, because you guys are hitting the subscribe and download button.
Where are we right now in the rankings?
I'll find out just for you. I wouldn't do this for anybody else, though. How was your weekend?
It was good. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was really good. How you went all the way out to places.
Yeah.
Was it good, though?
Yeah.
No family arguments at the table?
Nope.
That's good. I know I just told my parents' house, which we do a lot anyways, so it was like any other day, but I put on like a dress shirt for my mom.
Really?
Because she loves when I dress up for stuff. She's not like a really, really formal person. We are out of the 150. Oh my God. We have fallen out of the 150. What is happening to the world right now? We need all you guys to hit that subscribe and download button right now. Damn it. This is giving me the fits. I can't do the show today, Larson.
Okay.
I'm not going to do the show today.
Time to get lunch.
You wouldn't take over if I had an aneurysm and I just died right there.
You want me to keep the show going while you're potentially...
The show is what matters. All that revenue you'd be collecting.
I don't think I'd do the show if you were to succumb to an aneurysm, though.
Really?
No, I wouldn't feel right.
Man, I'll tell you right now.
No, I know. If I died right now, you'd keep going.
Well, I do two things. First of all, I'd up on our YouTube analytics, and just check to see how much money I'd be making solo.
Well, about twice what you're making now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not good at math.
Okay. Well, I mean...
So I would check that. And then I'd probably call 911 or Drama Alert. Because I feel like that's a Drama Alert worthy story. I feel like
you checking your potential revenue over potentially saving my life.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out.
Would that only be a Drama Alert situation if I were to survive? Because if I didn't, then it would kind of be...
Well, you would die.
Where's the drama?
You dying would be worse. Anyways, do you like my shirt?
You already asked me that.
Well, I'm going to ask you. I asked you this before the cameras were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you like my shirt?
Yeah.
Well, you know where I got it from?
Where?
ProWrestlingTees.com, where you can now find the Going In Raw merch store. That's right, at ProWrestlingTees.com/Going In Raw.
Are we going to put a link in the description?
Yes, we'll put a link in the description. I'll put it down here, where you guys can. Now we have one shirt. We have one design, and it's our logo. It's that wonderful shield thing that you see at the beginning. Now it's on a black shirt. It's called Going In Raw logo. That's what it's called. So you guys can go there, check it out. It's $20 and wear it. And I think right now they're not guaranteeing it'll be there by Christmas.
I think if you order, I think you order by the end of today. Well, maybe today.
Internationally speaking, I think that's probably the case.
Yeah.
But if you order it at this point, maybe if you're domestic, if you're in the United States, it'll probably get to you.
Maybe.
I don't know. I ordered a bunch of them. So and speaking of people that we like, patrons.
Yeah.
We got 30 people watching our live stream right now. They're all friendos kicking into our Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. You guys can check out the live stream if you put in a certain amount every month, or you can do it every week or every month. I just sent out a bunch of postcards to our $10 and up patrons who have also voted on Kayfabe Corner this week.
Correct.
Our trivia challenge at the end of the show.
Yes.
And there's all sorts of different patron rewards there. So we got a lot going on here Going In Raw. I'm excited because we got a really good Raw to talk about. I don't know about anybody else. I don't know about you guys out there, but I was actually thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, I was entertained for the most part.
I did not. Before I'm going to read these patron pledges here in a second. I did not feel the black hole of the 3-hour Raw last
No,
night?
usually it's the third hour. Where they'll have some filler.
Yeah.
And you kind of get lost in it.
Yeah.
But that third hour last night was pretty filler free.
Yeah.
It was all meaty substance, good.
Yeah, it was.
Material,
it was very
wrestling.
meaty. We got a lot to talk about. One of our friendos here in the chat room on the live stream version
That
of the
third hour
podcast
was actually packed.
said any Black Friday deals, and in fact, right now at ProWrestlingTees.com, if you type the discount code Black Friday, you get 20% off.
That sale might be over by now.
It was up this morning.
I think it ended at noon Eastern.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I barely made the cutoff then.
Yeah.
Well, never mind then. Sorry. Anyways, they got all sorts of good deals there.
They did.
They did. Not anymore, so don't buy our shirt. You don't want it.
No, you do.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, they still want shirt.
You're not a very good salesman.
Me or you?
Also, you're not. You're terrible. What is it? They used to. What is that?
No, they used to have a deal. Now they don't have the deal.
You're just burying a deeper hole for yourself.
Oh my goodness! You're the one that's saying don't buy the shirt. You don't want it.
Can I read
And I'm
these?
saying yes, they do want shirt.
Can I read these patron pledges?
Sure.
'Cause
Yes,
these are
please.
People, so everybody,
I know they are contributing to our Patreon.
Oh,
yes,
no.
please
I made
read their
you-
names.
I made you mad.
You
sorry.
did.
Oh, where's the Slapnut shirt? Scott B pledged money. Sam Disney. You think that's actually his name? You think Sam Disney, like from the Disney World?
I don't know.
Jamie also pledged. Nathan Rivet, Gabriel Raven. Oh, you think that's actually Raven? Adam Drake, Leo, Wheelchair Wyatt. I know this guy. He sent a picture. He looks like Bray Wyatt, but he's a dude in a wheelchair. It's great.
Yeah.
Samuel Labbe, Ken Bro Slice, Tommy Moir, Christian Owens, Jacob Tonke, the Nasty Nate. Ooh, I wonder why he's nasty. All nude everywhere. Josh Goldstein, Vitor Costa, Robert Chaikin, Tyler Vance, Antonio Taylor, Hitman Antaldo, Greg Burleson, Tyler Fieldgrove, Patrick Morales, all pledged money this week to our patron at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. So we
should give a special
say
shout
thank
out to Vitor.
Okay.
Because he did a cover of the Going in Raw theme.
That's right.
And he sent it to us, and it's fantastic.
We're gonna use it. I'm gonna take a look at see if I still have the old file for the show, and we're gonna replace our because he did a live version because you did that one in GarageBand, and he took that and he made like a slightly up tempo, more metal version.
Yeah,
it was rad.
Yeah, it's
I
fantastic.
love it. So thank you, Vitor.
Vitor, yes.
Vitor. So anyways, yeah, I guess that's it. That's it. It's time to talk about Raw.
Yes.
Definitely buy the shirt. Going in ProWrestlingTees.com/going in Raw. I just a little aside about the shop.
Oh, that was a great segue too to Raw Cap.
We can do it again. When I submitted the original the design for just our logo.
Oh, you really want to tell this story?
We're gonna have a bunch
really
more
do.
designs. But we want you guys. We want your input because I want a Mecha Santa shirt. I want a butt shit shirt. I'm gonna see if I can get away with the I like anal or anal I like to. All fuck wrestling stuff.
What about fun wrestling? People like fun wrestling. The logo's great. It'll look great on a shirt. Great idea. Let's do it.
Beef jerky, NX Steve, all the cast from NX Steve, all that stuff, especially NX Steve.
How do you feel about me getting half of those proceeds?
I don't really have a choice.
Nope.
That's a good
In fact,
point.
you still owe me 15% of all the proceeds from NX Steve.
Coming soon, ProWrestlingTees.com/NX Steve. Yeah, that's 15%. That ain't 50.
But I'm saying it's 15 in addition to the 50
no,
since it's
65.
our t-shirt shop.
65%.
Yeah.
So listen, when I originally submitted the Going in Raw logo shirt, there's an area. I'm stupid. There's an area for.
You're not stupid.
I should preface everything
You're not
by
stupid.
saying
You're
I'm
not
stupid.
You're not stupid.
There's a section there for like name the T-shirt, right? But I thought it was meant like the file name, so I put GIR logo. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure that's what I called the file anyways. Mm-hmm. But apparently that was supposed to be where I want to name what you see when the shirt pops up. And so for the people of Pro Wrestling Tees, I think they thought that we were I don't know, I'm not even getting their heads, but I think they autocorrected it for us. And so they changed it from GIR logo to girl logo. But I emailed them this morning, and within like an hour, they had changed it to Going in Raw logo. I'm very sad about that. I wish so. RIP girl logo shirt because it wasn't meant for girls. I would love for girls to wear it. That'd be great. If you're a girl, please, by all means, purchase the shirt. But it's not just meant for you. Anyways. Raw! Sorry, I'll do this again. ProWrestlingTees.com/going in
Raw!
There you go. So I was actually, the beginning of the show was not I was not encouraged by the open of the show because a lot of talking.
Yeah.
There was actually kind of a bit of talking in
a lot of talking.
The first 30, I think somebody pointed out on Twitter at Real Going in Raw. It was like the first 36 minutes. There was one squash match and a lot of talking, and that was it.
That looks about right.
Yeah. So it kicked off with Jericho's highlight reel. We had Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
all mixing it up.
Last week on the highlight reel, Owens and Jericho had a great segment
Where they teased a sort of a tension.
But it was all swerve.
It was all swerve.
They had a laugh.
Yeah.
Their friendship was as strong as ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this week they teased some legitimate beef.
Yeah. We were waiting for the swerve on this one, and it never came.
I was really expecting. I guess we can talk about it more during the main event talk.
This was an episode of Raw
the main event talk, the Owens Reigns match.
This was an episode of Raw that beat my expectations because they would set things up in one way, and I thought that it was just telegraphing some bullshit, to be honest with you. But in two main cases, I was pleasantly surprised, and then there were a bunch of other segments in the show where I was pleasantly surprised as well. And this Jericho Owens thing was sort of kicked that off because Reigns comes to the ring.
Well, first, yeah, they Owens and Jericho talk back and forth.
Yeah.
Owens talks a lot of crap to the crowd.
Yeah, they're healing on the Canadians. Where were they last night?
In Charlotte, North Carolina.
They were Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, okay, but they're saying there was some mess about them being Canadian or something like that. Anyways, they were talking crap, and Roman Reigns comes down.
And he talks a lot.
But here's the thing. If it was scripted, it didn't seem like it.
It seemed less... He seemed more natural than his previous attempts at reading scripted dialogue.
He seemed very comfortable.
He seemed more comfortable.
It was little by little. This was the first time that I was like, oh, well, you know what? I haven't been annoyed. I'll put it this way. There were no catchphrases.
Yeah.
There were no catchphrases. He didn't stutter. He didn't stumble. He felt more comfortable. And this has been little by little. He felt more comfortable.
I like when Owens stumbled. The cover-up for it
was good. It was great because he can do that and he can recover really, really well.
Yeah.
At a certain point, Reigns, the crux of the conversation was Reigns was giving Owens shit about always needing Jericho.
Yeah. He wanted the fight Owens fight Kevin Owens.
He didn't want joke Owens joke.
Yes.
And I thought, and when he said that, he didn't emphasize it as a point of comedy. He emphasized it as something that felt sincere. He came off as sincere last night.
He legitimately called out Kevin Owens.
Because this was the first time I can remember in a little while that there's been an extended Roman Reigns on the mic segment. I'm sure there's been some, but it really stood out as Roman sounds sincere. Mm-hmm. And I was totally... There was two things last night that stood out about Roman Reigns that I was like, oh, we've got progress, people. Anyway, so Owens got pissed off and said, and as Jericho was talking, I believe, about the list or something.
Yeah, he was going to put Reigns on the list.
Jericho said, shut up.
No, Owens said, shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Owens said to Jericho, shut up. Mm-hmm. And Jericho looked pissed off about that.
And then Owens also said, I don't need Jericho to win my matches.
That's what he said first. And then as Jericho was laying into Roman, he said, shut up, because he wanted some one-on-one time with Roman. So basically, Roman challenged him to a match. If Roman
won, he would be the number one contender.
That's right.
For the Universal title.
I like that too, because he didn't challenge him for the Universal title right then and there, which most people would. He said, if I win, he's reasonable about it. If I win, I want a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know why he just wouldn't say, I want a shot tonight.
I know.
But he's reasonable. I like it. Reasonable Roman Reigns.
He wants to prove himself.
Reasonable Reigns.
He wants to earn his push this time.
Exactly. Maybe really. That's how to get him over, is to
not put him directly into the title match, but push him so he earns his spot in the title match.
Exactly, yeah. Ask for not the mile, but the inch.
Yes. Knowing the mile is to come, though.
Exactly, yeah. Because regardless what you... Ever since his D push... all they did was stop mega pushing him.
No, all they did was essentially make the U.S. title the top belt on Raw.
Very clever, WWE creative. Very clever. So we're not going to give him everything, but we're going to make him yeah. So anyways, So I was surprised that Roman Reigns didn't come off as forced. Like on the mic, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. And I know it's everybody's Pavlovian response, everybody's like instinct just to think, oh my God, they're just shoving them down our throats. But I don't know. I feel like if they had taken this tag with him from the jump, he'd be mega over.
Yeah.
But people have this response to his music.
I know.
That they just automatically boo him.
I know.
But then he wins some people over. I was surprised at his victory last night. Do you want to skip to the main event?
Well, let's touch on the next. There's a backstage segment between Owens and Jericho and Foley.
Okay. We'll just go through their line. Okay.
Yeah, let's just go through their whole narrative for the night. Where Jericho seemed legitimately upset with Owens.
Yeah.
And said, "All right, I'm done."
Yeah.
And he leaves. He walks out on Owens.
Yeah.
And Foley confirms with Owens that the match with Reigns will happen.
Right.
With the stipulation that Reigns asked for.
Yeah.
So Jericho walks out on Owens, says he's not going to help him. He's not going to be in the arena.
Yeah.
And that leads to Jericho gives an interview backstage. Mm-hmm. And as he's walking to his car, he's attacked by Seth Rollins.
Right.
Pedigrees him on top of a vehicle.
Right.
Which I guess is a way, I thought at least, to kind of write Jericho off the episode. Mm-hmm. It's because he's hurt.
Yeah.
He obviously, between that and his disagreement with Owens, he's obviously not coming out keep on saying the main event because I expected it to be the main event, but it wasn't. The Owens Reigns match.
Yeah. I was really surprised. I think it was Jason the Cabbie, our good friendo, said it was either him or I forget what his name is. Somebody else said, so this is a swerve for later.
That's right? What I thought it was going to be too.
That's again. So expectation number one, this is a swerve. We've seen it before. That we're going to see it again. But Jericho gets pedigreed by Rollins, like you said. And so I was like, okay, well, even if it was going to be a swerve, like this can explain him being out because a pedigree on top of a car is a pretty big finisher.
Yeah.
You're kind of done for the rest of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see here. Okay, hold on one second. The people in our Patreon live chat are saying that there might be an issue with the feed. Hold on a second. I'm going to check something. All right, I'm still hearing it right now, so I don't know what that would be about, and I still see it over there. So some people are saying the stream might be cutting out a little bit.
Oh,
but I'm getting it fine. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, that was expectation met and beat by me last night because I fully expected it to be a swerve. What we got was a clean match between Owens and Reigns. That was the next encounter. Then was the actual match.
The actual match, and
I thought it was a good match.
It was a fine match. I kind of feel like the Universal Champion needs to win a match clean at some point, or even if he's going to lose. Say Jericho comes out, and maybe his intention is not necessarily to help Owens,
right?
But to either his intention is to help Owens and he accidentally costs Owens the match, or he comes out just to fuck with Owens.
Here's what I like about it, though. Owens has relied so long on Jericho helping him. Why would he automatically? And maybe I'm making an excuse because I believe you to an extent. I think the Universal Champion should be getting wins on his own. I think Kevin Owens should be getting wins on his own. But it kind of makes sense. He's been using Jericho this long. Why should we expect him just to automatically remember how to win on his own all of a sudden?
No,
that's a good storyline for him, and it's backed up by the interview he gave afterwards when he's completely distraught. He's like, holy shit, I've been using Jericho this entire time. I shouldn't need to use Jericho. I think that's a good storyline for him.
Well, we'll see where it leads.
I mean, does it come at the expense of Roman Reigns picking up another victory because he's getting mega pushed always? Yes, but that kind of clouds what I think could be a good storyline and what could be a natural storyline of he's been relying on this crutch for so long, and now that he gets rid of the crutch, what happens when you rely on a crutch too long? You know, it's like what happens when you rely on glasses for so long? Your eyesight gets worse, naturally. And so the idea that he's forgetting how to win maybe all of a sudden because he's been relying on a crutch, I think is about. I'm willing to see where it goes if that's the line they're taking.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it last night. Number two. That match, A, was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
And B, Roman Reigns was selling last night.
Yeah, he was.
When Owens attacked him before the match, that affected the rest of the match. Now, he ended up winning, but that affected him during the match. And I was pleased to see that he's selling.
I noticed that
I
too.
still want him to get rid of the vest.
Yes.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I would love for that to happen because I think that could just open up his vulnerabilities more.
Yes.
We've been
or
saying
at least
that forever.
if he's going to keep the vest, I want to see a match where someone takes it off.
Yeah, I know. When the perfect opportunity was Rusev Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Rusev should have taken that vest off and then attacked him with the kendo sticks.
Yep.
But I'll be honest. I thought it was a good night for Reigns. I thought it was a good night for Owens. I think Owens gave an interview after the fact where he was basically sort of going through what amounted to and he started to blame the interviewer. He said, every time you interview us, something happens. So he's going through this kind of existential crisis of, I can't win without Jericho. What am I going to do? And maybe that wasn't explicitly said, but I would love for that to be his thread, learning how to win on his own again. I think that'd be great. And blaming Jericho for being his crutch.
Yeah.
Because he's never going to blame himself. That's not in his character.
Yeah.
He needs to blame somebody else. That could be, I think that's a solid through line for their riff. So I thought that was a storyline last night that had a beginning, middle, and end that I thought was, and a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
That I think could be explored more.
We can move on to what I think is maybe one of the better stories going on Raw right now. This whole Sami Zayn, Braun Strowman, Mick Foley narrative is so good.
So last night, we had it was said that Braun was fighting R-Truth, and the commentator said that Sami Zayn had asked for a rematch and was declined by Mick Foley.
Yep.
So I love that there's sort of three things happening here, or at least two things. That we got Sami versus Braun, you got Mick Foley versus Braun, and you've got Sami versus Mick now, which is great. I had missed, Braun completely destroys R-Truth. Sami comes out, or Goldust comes out to help his friend.
Attacks Braun. And as Goldust is doing that, Sami comes out.
Correct. And then, so what was does Braun dismantle Sami?
And he put him in the Tree of Woe.
That's right. He put him in the tree. Well, we cut to commercial. Come back.
No. Foley comes out.
Okay, that's right. Foley comes out. I was hoping I tweeted this out of
Foley comes out. A bunch of refs come out.
I wanted them to come back from commercial and have everybody in the tree.
I know.
That'd be great.
But then they cut to commercial, come back, and then it's Byron Saxton, Mick Foley, and Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And Sami delivered a great promo.
So last night, while that promo was happening, somebody in my house bugged me. I don't know. I think my mom, my dad came by. Maybe it was my kid. I don't know what it was. Somebody was all in my business, and so I had to mute it. And then I watched it this morning, and man, that was a great, because I saw Mick's teeth flying out, but I didn't hear what was going on. I got a good picture, just watching what was going on. I figured what was happening. But when I actually went back and listened to it and heard Sami calling Mick a hypocrite and saying all these opportunities that you had when everybody said you couldn't do it back then, you're denying me now. And so it was great. There's two storylines happening, one on Raw, one on SmackDown, which seems to lead to a trade Sami for Braun, I'm thinking.
You mean for Baron?
I'm sorry, for Baron Corbin. Yeah. But then there's also this whole Cesaro storyline playing out where he's not happy, but then him and Sheamus seem to get... So let's focus on Sami versus Mick. I love that. Yeah. I love that Sami he's getting this great spotlight and he's running with it. And this is what we knew was going to happen. This is what everybody's like, oh my God, they're going to bury Braun. Nope. It's like, no, they're being clever with it. They're making it more about Sami and Mick than they are really. It's like Braun is being used as a plot device to further the Sami Mick storyline.
Yep.
And I think that's great.
No, it is great.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how long they continue this story.
Right.
Before any potential trade might happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's gonna reach
because there's still there's still a lot to work with.
Yeah.
On that storyline, also Baron Corbin storyline on SmackDown with him and Kalisto and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. There's a lot to work with. It'd be great. Baron comes out tonight on 205 Live and just destroys every match. God, it'd be terrible. Speaking of the cruiserweights, we also had we'll get to the females in a sec. To the women in a bit. Cedric Alexander took on Tony Nese. Now, apparently there's been some business with Cedric. I missed this completely. Cedric Alexander and Alicia Fox.
Yeah, last week during the Raw pre-show, they had a segment backstage where I believe she kissed him on the cheek and wished him good luck.
Okay, that's good.
And then this week they showed Alicia watching Cedric's match.
Completely nude. And Cedric was completely nude.
Well, not during the match because that would have, there's standards and practices. You can't have.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, but I'm just
Standards
saying.
practices. I don't think I thought they were just a network. I think USA can do whatever they want. They said fuck on Mr. Robot.
It's true.
Anyways, you're not going to have naked matches, sadly for me. So anyways, yeah. So that's cool. I like what you said off camera. You said he's getting a storyline now with a woman. With a woman. So anyways,
I guess
great match.
I like that the cruiserweight division isn't just having stories amongst themselves.
Yeah,
they're bringing in other people.
Yeah,
into
no, I like
the
that.
Cruiserweight
I like that
division, and I like that.
Yeah, Cedric's a stud. I love him.
Yes,
he's great. Tony Nese. I love Tony Nese. That because he delivered his what is it? It's his finisher.
It's like a pump handle power bomb.
Pump handle. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
and it looks great.
Yeah,
looks really good. Tony Nese picked up the victory.
Here's my problem with this match.
Okay,
Raw was in Charlotte last night.
Oh, I know. We have a question about this later.
Okay, should I save my thoughts for the question, or should I deliver them now?
Then deliver them now.
Okay. See, I understand. We have two competitors last night that are from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander and
Yeah.
So when Cedric lost, I was like, okay, it's probably because Charlotte's going to win. They don't want both the hometown competitors winning in their hometown.
Right.
Because apparently Vince has a thing for people losing in their hometown.
And that was obvious last night.
Yes.
That was obvious across the board.
But
yeah,
when you have Cedric Alexander, got a very good reception, good pop. If he puts on a stellar match and wins and gets a huge pop, that's going to do so much for him.
Yeah.
Just have him win.
Well,
I don't get the thing where, I mean, like if they were if he and Tony Nese were in a storyline and they're trying to get heel heat on Tony Nese, serious heel heat. All right, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But what are the odds of
what is the point
Cedric
of
Alexander and Tony Nese having another one-on-one match in the near future?
I know.
I'm sure they'll be involved in a tag match because that seems to happen all the time on Raw. But it was frustrating.
I don't know the point of it. I don't get the
I don't
point
get
of
it.
Yeah. I don't know. I love Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's so good, dude.
He's going to be a huge star.
He's going to be big time. He's so good. And I felt like this was less of a WWE style match and more of a cruiserweight style match. I thought it was a good match. I still love that Drew Gulak dresses up like King Arthur with no pants. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I know.
It's so dumb. It's so bad. So anyways, it was a good match. Chris Jericho. Oh, we already went over that. So let's talk about Rusev Enzo real quick.
Yeah.
What is the look that Lana gives? I'm pretty sure it's a look of death, or it's a look of my husband's gonna kill you. But she does a great. Somebody on our Twitter feed said she does a great no sell.
Yeah.
Because when Enzo's up there talking about,
and
they made a great point. Why is Rusev considered the heel here? People keep on disrespecting the shit out of Lana. If that little dude said that about Lacey, I'd be bugged. I wouldn't lie. I mean, I'd probably chuckle and she'd laugh because we're sick like that. But as you know, if I'm like a regular normal man, I'm like, how could you dare say that about my wife? Like that's a heel thing to do.
I know.
And I love that it wasn't just another squash match, that he just fucking blasted Enzo in his dick.
I know.
So that was the match. It was Rusev versus Enzo.
He got in a couple shots and just kicked him square in the junk.
He loaded that kick up and just massacred his balls.
Yeah.
It's great. I loved it.
I know when I was watching Enzo's promo and she said that line about stuffing the turkey.
Yeah.
And Lana's look, she almost looked tired, like her no sell. She just kind of did this.
Yeah. I think I felt it was sort of the eyes of death, like
I know, but I mean, like her,
or there was like sort of almost like a like I don't really care what you're saying because my husband's about to destroy you.
It was both somehow anger and kind of apathy.
Yeah,
kind of mixed together. And I think that kind of came off as kind of.
It was good. Yeah, she kind of looked like tired, like she was tired too. So that was good.
But I don't know where they're going to take this. Like, are they going to...
I assume there's going to be like a big Cass Rusev thing next.
Guess
I don't know
so.
if that benefits, though.
I know.
That's not really going to benefit anybody.
Or are they going to bring back the League of Nations and have a tag match?
I would not like that. I would not. I mean, unless they're bringing back Bad News Barrett. Hey, Enzo! I'm afraid to go to the bad news. I like that. I thought he was so good.
I
as
didn't have
Bad
a problem
News
with
Bear.
it. It just wasn't my thing.
I loved it.
It was fine.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Let's talk about the Sasha Charlotte.
All right. I was
Storyline.
again expectations coming into tonight. Sasha's going to lose
Yes.
because of Nia Jax.
Yes.
That was going to be it. And even so, they started off the match, and I thought it was kind of oddball that they started off the match.
With Sasha hitting her finisher pretty much. She
yeah.
did the
Bank statement.
yeah. What's the move before that called?
Isn't it all just a bank statement?
No, I thought that was just the submission move.
I thought that she just precedes it with, I mean, it's essentially a code breaker, isn't it?
It's like yeah, kind of.
Isn't it code breaker? Oh, code breaker's from you're
To be
facing the guy.
a backstabber, right?
A backstabber. Yeah. Something like
I
that.
don't know if they had a different name for that.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, they pretty much had Sasha go right to the finisher.
Then they went outside the ring, were destroying each other outside the ring, and the ref counted out.
Yeah.
And then Mick comes out and he says, this rivalry, it needs a proper finish. It can't just be a count out. So instead of restarting it there on the spot, he said later on tonight, we're going to get back to this.
Here's what I think it was.
Okay, go ahead.
Vince hadn't decided who was going to win the match yet.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
And he's like, well, I got another 2 hours to make up my mind.
He's like, no, it's this like, I got 2 hours. I want to take a nap. When I wake up, I'll know who's going to win tonight.
He'll dream the finish.
Exactly. So I thought it was a bit oddball. But I thought, okay, there's going to be some reasoning here. Charlotte's going to then enlist Nia Jax to finish the job.
Yeah.
For later on tonight. It turns out, and then we get a couple of backstage segments. So one of them was before the match even started. It was Charlotte and Dana backstage.
Yeah.
Which I missed the brunt of it.
Oh, Dana came in with a clipboard saying, here are what I have planned for your championship celebration or something like that tonight.
All right. We also got after the match, we also got a Sasha Bailey.
Well, after the first match.
After the first match, we got a Sasha Bailey thing where Bailey, I had to sort of, Bailey said something about, I don't know, she was ranting about something. And Sasha said, hey, this isn't about you. This is about me, and I'm going to dedicate this. So she dedicated the match to Ric Flair?
Her victory.
Her victory to, oh, okay. Which set up the main event.
Yeah.
Or what happened at the end. So then later on in the night, as the main event, the match continued. Restarted. They both came to the
Well, they
ring.
made it a no DQ, falls count anywhere.
Right. All that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically everything. Which, no DQ, okay. Nia Jax is going to get Charlotte to win. Fantastic. Matt, this I thought was better than the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of granted, the Hell in the Cell match was physical, but in terms of the physicality we were expecting at Hell in the Cell, I think last night we finally got it.
We got Charlotte moonsaulting from the announce table to what didn't look like a padded ground level, whatever that was, like off the ramp or whatever.
Yeah.
Onto Sasha.
Yeah,
Or
we
sort
got
of grazing her.
There was a kendo stick.
There was a kendo stick, which that was, I mean, granted, a lot of this match was sloppy. There was one particular moment that looked like it was a Botchamania level moment where they were just outside the ring and they ended up doing a suplex.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, these two often when the stakes are high, they're trying to do so much. I think.
Yeah.
That
but also
they lose themselves a bit
when matches are kind of sloppy like that, and
it kind of adds something.
Especially when they're not physical, it kind of harkens back to like late 70s, early 80s NWA where people thought it was real because it was sloppy.
It's sloppy. And they were getting with that kendo stick. There was one shot where Charlotte tried to give Sasha a boot and Sasha instead ended up hitting her in the inner thigh, like way up high. And that looked like that's one of those things like, it just awkwardly hurts.
Charlotte had some cuts on her arm.
They were chopping each other left and right, and those looked awkward. And when the women chop each other, there can be, and I'm not like it's easy to make a booby joke here, but it's like there's a very narrow window of like a target right there because you want to hit right here because otherwise it's weird if you're hitting the boobs But they were just slapping it, whatever. Like there was arm slaps, there were chops everywhere. And like you said, it lent to this sort of, it was a sloppy, awkward, but it looked like they just both wanted to kill each other.
Yep.
And they were fine with that, and I was fine with that. And what I thought was a great finish.
Yeah.
It ended up with Sasha executing the bank statement, but through one of the rails
on the stairway in the crowd. And so she was bending her back, and there was no Nia Jax. Now, Nia Jax was nowhere to be seen. Yep.
Sasha ended up winning, extending her Raw win streak for the title to whatever it is
3.
now. Which, of course, begs the question, roadblock, end of the line?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Well, let me ask you this.
Is Charlotte going to win this belt back? Is this a hot potato situation?
Let me
A lot
ask
of
you
people are
this.
bitching about the hot potato thing.
I don't mind the hot potato thing because these are two, competitors.
This is feud of the year.
Yeah.
Right here.
And
feud of the
and
year.
the fact that Sasha gets the upper hand on Raw and Charlotte gets the upper hand on pay-per-views, it only adds to the intensity
That's a
of feud.
story right there.
Yeah, that
I
is
know.
the story.
That's a story
That's what I
right
like
there.
about it. But let me ask you this.
And I did not see this win coming last night.
Not at all. Does Ric Flair coming out and raising Sasha's hand after her win, does it kind of feel like it put, at least for now, a bit of punctuation on the feud?
Maybe. I could see that. Okay, let me ask you this. This is another question, though. When Vince woke up the morning of Hell in a Cell and changed it,
Yeah.
is it because he knew they were going to be in Charlotte and he wanted 2 hometown losses?
Maybe.
I mean, because that's what Charlotte did a great job last night with her hometown. I mean, the entire match, whenever the camera was on her, she was saying, "This is my hometown. This is my hometown." And then at the end, after she had lost, it kept cutting it back to her. She was like, and she kept on saying, "I failed.
Yeah.
I failed."
Yeah.
And so maybe creative saw. I mean, look, we always say on the show, I'm not going to start getting inside people's heads and looking for motivation. The Sasha loss at Hell in a Cell in front of her hometown. I was like, I want to give creative the benefit of the doubt here, although it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I could see now, last night, Charlotte losing in her hometown I think is a good punctuation from what we saw at Hell in a Cell. This is a huge Raw moment, a huge Raw moment. And in terms of looking this as a batch of matches, in terms of an entire feud, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with it. Sasha's got the belt again.
Yep.
We don't know, it might be obvious that she's going to take on Nia Jax. Nia Jax and Charlotte might be facing each other for number 1 contendership like that. It doesn't make things obvious.
Well, then you have Bayley.
And then you have Bayley there.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen with that? Are we going to get a Sasha heel turn? Are we going to get a Charlotte face turn? What's going to happen here? We don't know.
Yeah.
And Dana Brooke is there too. So we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And so, it does. The Ric Flair thing feels like a punctuation mark. It does. So I don't know. I thought it was a fantastic match to punctuate a fantastic Raw.
Yeah.
We had some other bits and pieces here. Mark Henry did an interview bit because he's in that new Aaron Eckhart movie.
Yeah.
In a brief moment, and then Titus O'Neil came in, and every time. It makes me so sad that they're not doing more with Titus Brand. Because every time I see Titus, I remember why I like him so much. There's something about the character in his voice and his natural charisma. It really, it's just one of those things that we've gotten used to. The fact that they're not taking Titus seriously. It's obvious that he's sadly reached what they feel is his ceiling. I love the Titus Brand. I love the press conferences, and they never went anywhere with it, and that makes me really, really sad. And so when he what was it? He grabbed Mark Henry? Mark Henry's like, "Get off me!" And I thought it was a really cool, intense moment.
Yeah,
I'd love to see more of it. I understand that it's completely. We're not going to get much from this. We'll get a match out of these guys.
Yeah.
Maybe next week on Raw. I'll be excited about it because I love Mark Henry.
I know, me
love
too.
Titus O'Neil.
They're both great.
I love both these guys. I know Mark Henry's on his way out, but
He's
Titus,
still so good.
He's still so good, and Titus, I feel, has so much to give.
Yep.
I don't know what to do. I don't know why. I don't know why they're not giving him what I think he needs.
I agree.
We had Rich Swann versus Noam Dar. Rich Swann picked up the win. He is the number one contender tonight on 205 Live.
Yeah.
We're going to get Rich Swann versus Brian Kendrick. What are the odds that he picks up the belt on 205 Live tonight?
75% odds that he is the new champion.
Are we going to do 205 Live recaps now on Dirt Sheets?
Yeah.
Okay. I liked this. I liked everything about Raw last night. Sheamus and Cesaro. Number one, I haven't had a Guinness in forever, and that Guinness,
it did look good.
I really wanted that
really
Guinness. Sheamus and Cesaro are at a bar, and they were just waxing about their
The fact that they make such a
partnership.
great team, but they can't stand each other.
I know. So let me ask you this. Every week I ask you, do you still think this is headed for a blow-off?
This is the first time I doubted that.
Okay. You see where I'm coming from then.
Well, up until now, there really hadn't been any moment where they were like, okay, we're on the same page now.
And I love Cesaro saying we'll always have Survivor Series. I love that. And then they got on the same page in this barroom brawl where they took on all these local enhancement heels. Apparently they went to the one bar where all these heels hang out. I thought this was a thoroughly entertaining segment.
No, it was fun.
And I really hope that they don't trade away Cesaro to Smack. I think that, to be honest, that to me feels like more of a punctuation, because here's my thing. You can't have a blow off when you've already established that these guys, that's their gimmick, is that they can't have a blow off. Like, they did the best of 7 and they can't, and they didn't, and they got to the point where Mick had to pull them apart and say, no, you have to be a team because you'll destroy each other. These two are at the point where they can never have a blow off.
Well, I don't know about never. I didn't necessarily think they were going to have a blow off at Royal Rumble. I said it could be a year from now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that Cesaro being traded to SmackDown is a much more poetic and fitting end to these two because of how they've established them. But
they ended that segment saying cheersing Guinnesses and calling each other partner.
Yeah.
So
what does that mean?
I don't think there's going to be a trade of Cesaro to SmackDown anytime soon.
I hope not. I hope they keep these guys together. I think it's obvious that the club's going to win these titles as soon as that record's over. I was hoping that they were going to pick them up last night.
Well, the way that match started, it seemed like they were going to.
I had a very distinct feeling they were going to win last night.
I almost felt like they. I mean, I guess we can just move on to the club New Day match.
Yeah.
Like the club hit, I don't know, like a move or two. I think it was Gallows that kicked Big E ringside, so he wasn't on the apron.
Yeah.
So Xavier Woods was in the ring, and I felt like if they had done their finisher right then, just speaking logically, about how
I know
you see the match progressing,
I know.
they would have won.
I know.
In about 30 seconds.
I know.
But instead, they just tagged back and forth a few times.
I know.
And didn't really make much sense.
I know. I agree with that completely. But the thing that I like is that at the end, Cole said, they're getting closer and closer and closer.
Yeah.
I would honestly love, I don't know what the
I kind of
schedule's
feel,
like.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I don't know what the schedule's like, but the fact that they're referencing it so much, do they have the balls to snatch this record from them the day before? I don't know what the logistics are. Last night they said 16 days.
17 days.
Last night was 17 days?
Yeah.
God, I swear to God, I thought they said 16. Which would place them 3 days away 2 weeks from now at Raw then.
Yeah. And then after that Raw is Roadblock.
Oh, okay. So we're still okay.
So they could do it 3 days short, or
if they really
a few days after the
really
record's broken.
If they really want to have some balls, man, take them away 3 days beforehand, because they've really amped up the talk about the record, and I really hope that they're not putting records over good stories, because if they're talking about this record only to snatch it from them right before,
I know
that would do so much for the club.
I know. I know.
Bring Paul London back in, man. He's on Lucha Underground now.
Oh.
He says he's part of this weird trio where they do a lot of drugs or something. It's weird. He's wearing some weird Clockwork Orange type getup, and then he's got it's all about hallucinating and shit. I don't know. It's Lucha Underground. It's all weird.
Yeah.
But I was happy to see him.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, hold on a second. And now we can talk about this. Now we can talk about Paul Heyman's amazing interview. Stubble, red eyes.
I know the stubble was a nice touch.
Total defeat.
Tears.
He said this was supposed to be a video game. That was the best Paul Heyman I've seen in a very long time.
Yep.
Finally. And this makes it all worth it. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I've been critical of the way they've done the Brock Lesnar thing.
Well, I'm happy they realized that they'd kind of reached the end of the line with that version of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think we weren't the only ones that were kind of getting bored with it.
Yeah. But this right here, Paul Heyman defeat and understanding that the game plan that they had.
Well, he said we
took
took
him lightly.
Goldberg lightly
This is a man who hadn't been in the ring
in 12 years.
Yeah, in 12 years, and he looked a mess. And he said Brock was hurt. He cracked ribs on that first spear, and that's what led to his loss. And it was. I thought it was pitch perfect. I thought Heyman was absolutely
And
great.
last week when we talked about it, I think one of us said we need that. We need a promo like that.
Yeah.
To move the story along, to make sense of it, and
Yes.
they did it, and it was great.
And it was perfect. And he said, if Goldberg's going to be in the Royal Rumble, Brock is going to be in the Royal Rumble. And that sets up a really great stage. I
Yep.
think that's going to be fantastic. So good for everybody on that one. And that was Raw.
Yeah.
And I thought it was
a
like I
fun
said,
show.
There were no black holes. It was a thorough 3 hours packed of good stuff. God, man, we had a barroom brawl. We had a parking lot brawl. We had all sorts of stuff. So we're going to go to questions. We had a ton of Patreon questions.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, even as low as the $1 mark, you guys, the patrons, get the priority question thread.
Yes.
Where we choose from. We these days we have way too many questions to answer them all. So we picked a big selection of them that we felt sort of, answered, sort of encapsulated everything as much as we could.
Yeah.
So if your question isn't answered, we apologize. There's way too many of you guys. So we try to choose the most clever ones.
Yeah. Stephen Merced, can you think of a more brutal WWE women's match?
I honestly can't. I mean, they
Not off
busted
the
out,
top of my
they
head.
busted out the kendo stick.
I know.
And the moonsault
I know.
from
then
really high up.
the bank statement
Yeah.
spot was fantastic.
I
too.
mean, the classic Lita Trish Raw match where Lita almost killed herself, but that was kind of a botch. Like landing that way. You're not supposed to land that way. So I honestly can't. Not in the WWE. I'm sure, there's been all sorts of indie wrestling, matches.
yeah.
Bobby Hensley. Do you think this is the end of the Charlotte-Sasha feud, or do you think it will continue, and if so, for how long? This, like you said, the Ric Flair thing, I think, punctuated it.
Yeah.
I think
It felt like it.
Yeah.
But then again, the next Raw pay-per-view is called Roadblock End of the Line.
That sounds like it might be punctuating a bit more. In which case, are we going to pick up another Sasha or another Charlotte win? Then she goes
It
on.
depends.
And
It depends how much. If
Depends
the match
on-
is made, and if they really play up the fact that Charlotte's never either lost the belt or won all her championship matches on pay-per-view, then if they're really making a point of that storyline, then maybe Sasha wins.
Yeah, or Charlotte wins. You mean? Yeah.
Or well, I don't know. I could see the logic in either way.
yeah, no, me too. But we don't know.
We don't know.
I know it's a good thing.
We'll find out more next week, I'm assuming.
Nate Morris. Where do you
Nate
think-
Morris. Oh, sorry.
Where do you think Charlotte and Sasha rank on top women's feuds of all time?
They're up there.
It's.
I mean,
hard.
Trish and Lita
is pretty high up there. Yeah,
That's the only one I can think that maybe compares.
pretty high up there.
Yeah.
I think we're sort of in new territory right now.
Yeah.
and so it'll be interesting to see what they do with Bayley and Nia Jax, and even like over on SmackDown, it'll be interesting to see if they can come up with something that's as iconic as this has been.
I know. Jeffrey Stop. Do you think Sasha and Charlotte's next match will be held off for over a year so that other women such as Bayley and Nia Jax can get some spotlight time? Or is this feud just too entertaining that long of a wait? For that long of a wait, sorry.
I would love for them to, depending on what happens next. Yeah, I'd like them to hold off for a while.
Yeah.
On something else with these two. Bring in some more women into the division, even,
Yeah.
Throw Asuka in there.
Yeah.
Gerardo Sanchez, after seeing this week's Emma promo for what's she called?
Emelina.
I'm convinced this has to be a swerve, and she'll end up being her former badass heel character. At least I hope so. What do you guys think?
It's definitely going to be some sort of swerve.
It's got to be some sort
It's
of
going to be some. We talked last week that we think it's be kind of a parody of.
yeah, the Candice Michelle type
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. Gene the Grappler. Hello, friendos. Hi. Since we keep seeing a trend of the women doing more matches that the guys have done, what's left for the women to do specialty or gimmick match-wise?
Well, we're going to get, what are we going to get between Nikki and Carmella? Is this going to be no DQ? Okay, so that's not going to be a ladder match.
No, so I don't think we've seen a ladder match or a TLC match.
Proper TLC ladder match, although they used tables and chairs in the Hell in a Cell, or was it just tables? I think it was chairs
both.
too.
Yeah, both.
So yeah, like a traditional ladder match. I want to see Money in the Bank. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I want to see, because there's plenty of great talent to do a Money in the Bank women's match.
Yes. VH Costa. That was a great bloody episode, especially crying Heyman.
Yeah.
His question is, what wrestler would you like to see as Paul Heyman's new client?
If Brock relaxed his policy
Yes.
on that, I would like to see you know what I think would be fun? What about Paul Heyman and Charlotte? What if Charlotte is so distraught over all this that she enlists Paul? I think those two together, like, I'm just thinking of like who Paulie would be fun with.
Yeah.
And I think, because remember how fun it was with him and CM Punk?
Oh, yeah.
And Charlotte is a pure heel.
Yeah.
I think him and Charlotte would be fun together.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Charlotte.
And she's got legacy. She has legacy.
Yeah,
and
she in her own right is good on the mic too.
Exactly. That's why I think it'd be fun together. Terrence Thompson. Am I the only one that believes Reigns would have benefited tremendously from flipping on Raw and joining SmackDown at Survivor Series? He'd get over as a face in front of a pro SmackDown crowd in Toronto, and the shoot-like promos he'd be able to perform on Tuesdays would be amazing. I think that anything... This thing about Roman, I think that anything... If he were to flip in any way, I think that might go a long way towards... That could be a shortcut to getting people back on his side. Mm-hmm. If he were to swerve anybody or anything, I think that would get people...
Imagine during the Shield reunion spot at Survivor Series, if he had swerved on him.
Mm-hmm, I know. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
You know, something to... I'm fine with him progressing little by little the way they're doing it. I think that people are so conditioned to this point to be anti-Roman in the Universal title scene.
Yeah.
Or in the big belt scene. Whatever
Yeah, and I think if they kind of alter course instead of the babyface push.
Yeah.
Even just a tweener.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to go full heel.
Even just being somewhat self-serving.
Yeah.
You know, betray somebody in the interest of him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Josh, could Roman be U.S. and Universal Champion for the mega push?
I put this question in here because I like that second clause, or that the beginning of the second sentence, and it's just one clause. For the mega push. Hell yeah, for the mega push. He could be that. I don't know if people will respond to it, but they could do that.
What do you think the odds are of Reigns getting the belt off Owens at Roadblock because they don't want an Owens-Jericho feud to involve the Universal title? I thought about that last night.
Wait, say that one more time.
Say Reigns gets the Universal title off Owens at Roadblock because they don't want Owens and Jericho, their feud, to be for the title. Even though I think it'd be perfect because they went so long saying that they were the Universal Champion. It only makes sense if they're going to feud to have the Universal title involved. But I can also see why they might want to take the belt off Owens if they're going to do that storyline.
I don't know how the people would react to that.
I don't know if they'd react very well.
I don't think they would, man.
But if they did do that, I mean, who would be next for Reigns to feud with?
I don't know. I really like the idea though of mixing up. I mean, Reigns. I don't know. Somebody bitched on Twitter last night, I think, or might have been in the questions about how they're tired of the top guys being this foursome, if you will, of Reigns, Rollins, Jericho, and Owens. I think there's still a lot to be mined there, to be honest, though.
Yeah.
I think you'd want to, you got Rollins and Jericho right now, obviously, in a thing, and you got Reigns and Owens in a thing. And we haven't seen that before, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Matthew Audet, like in Survivor Series 98, who would you put in a tournament to face Kevin Owens for his Universal title and AJ's World title using any wrestlers from WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, etc.?
So how many?
etc.
8-man tournaments.
Yeah.
So 8 from each brand.
Okay.
Or 8 that we use to represent each brand.
So wait, how many brands are we talking?
Well, I mean, we'll have a Raw bracket and a SmackDown bracket.
And we need eight for each one?
Yes.
Okay, so Raw bracket.
8. So we need Shinsuke,
Shinsuke Nakamura,
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, Silas Young,
Okay.
Adam Cole, Bebe.
Jay Lethal.
That's too many Ring of Honor people. Bring Jay Lethal over to SmackDown.
Okay, fine.
Johnny Mundo.
I was going to say Prince Puma.
Oh, Prince Puma. There you go. Okay. And then Sexy Star, because she can tussle with the men.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega.
We need one more.
Oh, Jay Briscoe.
Okay.
There you go.
So that's the
a
Raw.
Stacked.
That's
stacked.
the Raw side.
Over on SmackDown, Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal. Trying to think of
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
I'm trying to think who else is. Oh, Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Yeah. Okada.
Yeah.
John Cena.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger and Ryback.
Okay, good. That's all good.
Look at us. We're great.
Certified Chin. Now with Brock confirmed to be in the Rumble, do you think anybody stands a chance against Brock or Goldberg other than Braun? I kind of feel like
take each other out.
Yep, they're gonna take each other out.
Goldberg's gonna. I think it's gonna be this. Goldberg's gonna eliminate a bunch of jobbers, like a bunch of people we know are not gonna be in there. Brock's gonna come in. They're gonna eliminate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Big Razor sexy. Big Razor sexy wants people to follow him on Amino Friendos. I got to get back on that Amino app. Question time. Who's going to end up facing Brock at WrestleMania? He says he knows it was rumored to be Shane, but with Goldberg, yeah, it's going to be Goldberg. 100%, 100,000% it's going to be Goldberg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damon Cruz. Oh, hi, Marks.
Oh, hi, Marks.
It seems Braun has been busy with the podcast circuit with being on Stone Cold's and Jericho's the last couple of weeks. He comes across super humble and ready to learn from the other wrestlers.
I love it.
What do you think his ceiling is, and how long will it take for him to get there? I think he has a pretty high ceiling.
I am cautiously optimistic, and the only reason why I say cautiously is because traditionally, I think it's this. Traditionally, we haven't seen big men exhibit the potential that Braun has.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic because he's exhibited. He's got a lot.
So long as they avoid the usual
yes,
issues with huge wrestlers, which is making them one-dimensional.
Yeah.
If they avoid that, give them some complexity, allow them to do different things in the ring, I think the sky's the limit.
I think that he could be. I know we've said before Kane and Undertaker. I'm going to throw this name out there too. Big Show.
Okay.
He's had a great career.
Yeah.
You cannot fault that man's career.
Nope.
Whenever he comes out now, people might sigh and roll their eyes.
Yeah.
But I think that, if Braun can have a Big Show-esque career, and I think he could be very successful at that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that, Big Show has his own buzz. He's like the second top earner in the company as of a couple of years ago.
Yeah. In terms, there was that list going around of was it wrestler net worth?
Yeah.
And he was towards the top.
Yeah.
So, John Grogan. With Rusev's recent feuds only being over Lana's honor, do you think creative is in a rut with his character?
I'm not sure. I would say not a rut, but a holding pattern.
I kind of remember when Rusev debuted with Lana and she was the boss.
Yeah.
I kind of missed that.
Yeah, me too. I know. But you can't really go backwards.
No, I know. I mean, they
can ease it back in.
Yeah. Or find,
they could just shoehorn it back in, whatever.
There's plenty of stuff to work with there. I'm
Yeah.
sure they could find something.
I think they're in a holding pattern. I don't know what they're really waiting for. I feel like they're waiting for something with him, though.
They're probably waiting until after WrestleMania I'm hoping.
Who's he going to face at WrestleMania, though?
No, I'm saying after WrestleMania. So if there's a face champ on Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Then he can be in line for a title program.
Haven Elric, if you guys had to pick a WWE superstar to be your roommate for the next month. See, look, if you guys ask questions like this every time, we'll try to answer everything. I love this shit. If you had to pick a WWE superstar to be your roommate for the next month, who would it be? He says he would pick Bray Wyatt for his infinite wisdom and his beard keeping warm.
See, here's the thing with Bray, though. Like, say you're having a disagreement over bills or how dirty the place is.
Oh, yeah.
But let's teleport out.
He'll get out of there.
So
exactly. I'm not.
Nothing's
sure.
ever resolved.
I wouldn't want to be a roommate with Bray Wyatt. Oh, well, okay. Two people spring to mind.
Okay.
Number one, Mojo Rawley. But I'm not sure I'd survive that. I would do so many drugs with him. I have no evidence that he does drugs. I'm just saying his character that he portrays feels like a big drug guy.
Yeah.
Or Bailey. I feel like Bailey would be a really positive roommate to have around.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking this is a good answer in one respect, but a horrible answer in another.
Let's hear it.
John Cena.
Because, well, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You have a resume or you have
Yeah, a body of work you can watch on
Exactly,
Total
yeah.
Bella/Total Divas.
I feel like you and him would be good roommates. Because he couldn't complain about like your cleanliness because you're like a germ guy. You don't like germs.
No, I don't.
You would probably enjoy. Would you enjoy
I would
having
enjoy
formal dinners?
I think I would.
Yeah. There you go. I like that's a good answer. What would it?
But also,
how do you think that could be horrible?
But also, sometimes when people, I'm not saying I'm like John Cena in terms of how he's portrayed. I'm not that scheduled.
Yeah.
I'm not that regimented.
Yeah.
And I think that could be an issue.
That'd be annoying.
It would be really annoying. But it could be interesting.
And I was thinking about Mojo Rawley. It'd be like, man, Mojo, you need to friggin' chill out, dude. Just bring it down a notch.
Yeah.
He's like, no, hype all the time.
All hype, all the time. Jack Nesmith, M.A. With the lovely Emma coming back soon, who do you think her first feud should be with upon her return?
So if this is indeed some sort of swerve type situation, who do you think she's going to feud with?
Well, what are the options?
Is Paige ever going to come back?
Well, she's a long way from coming back. If she had neck surgery, 2 months ago, a month ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's another 5 months or so away from coming back.
I mean, Dana Brooke is kind of the obvious choice. So I would say Dana Brooke needs something to do.
Yes.
Instead of carrying around a clipboard following freaking Charlotte. Josh, how do you feel the landscape at WWE will change when Vince either retires or passes away? This is a loaded question. I feel like
everybody's expectations are that
it'll be the Triple H show.
Yeah, and that based on what we've seen with NXT, that will just be what Raw and SmackDown are like. And I don't know if that's true because he said he compared NXT in musical terms to being like a very specific, type of music essentially, whereas Raw and SmackDown are pop music essentially, top 40 music,
Right.
broader appeal.
Right.
So I don't know if, I'm sure we'll see some elements that have worked in NXT make their way, but I don't know if it's going to be a thing like that where
I don't think it's going to be a switch either. I think that he absolutely understands the need for entertainment, and I think you'll probably here's what I think will probably happen. By and large, it'll be SmackDown and Raw will be kind of the same. It'll be the same elements. You'll have more long-term booking and less rash decisions. Because I think that seems to be kind of the thing about Vince is that, like we said, he wakes up and he makes a decision.
Yeah.
I think with Triple H, I think he understands the benefit of sticking to your story beats that you've planned out.
Yes. Another thing that might change and is probably might be more specific to the Cruiserweight division is maybe on Raw, they'll let them do their thing. Yeah.
I forget, is Triple H a Kevin Dunn guy or not?
I don't know.
I forget. I know it's one way or the other. I forget which way it is. You're up with Carlos Hackworth.
Oh, yeah. Carlos Hackworth. If you could book Mark Henry for one last run, would you have
him form a new Nation of Domination?
Yeah, would you have him form a new Nation of Domination, making the New Day and R-Truth more serious, or give him a title run? You could have The Rock return and turn heel for the Nation of Domination.
This is like so much fantasy booking right here, and it's like super fantasy booking. Because there's no way. I'll put it this way. I could potentially see, even though it's, again, super fantasy booking, The closest this could become to happening would be Mark Henry being like some sort of heel manager for a nation type group. Because they were originally with the New Day. Remember, it was all about, it was like when they were first doing the New Day thing on the house show circuit, it was Xavier recruiting Big E and Kofi in sort of a rise up and be educated thing, I think is what it was. And it wasn't as power, I think it was like somewhat power positivity, but I seem to remember there being like a, we need to educate ourselves type angle, if I'm not mistaken. It was a bit more serious than it ended up being. I think it was a lot more serious than it ended up being. And so I could see it being more of like an empowerment thing as opposed to a militant thing, which Nation of Domination always, they're basically the Black Panthers of the WWE. And so I could see maybe them doing that, more of like an empowerment thing, like a we're going to take a stand type thing. But I don't know if they're going to go to like a straight up Nation of Domination. I don't know if you could really do that these days. But there's no way The Rock's going to be involved in that. The Rock comes back. The Rock does what he wants to do. And yeah, that's it.
Yep. Colt Mallet. So Goldberg is back. We're getting parking lot brawls, bar fights. Is the Attitude Era back? Is Raw finally going back into a more aggressive approach? Or are we just getting teased?
I mean, we saw Enzo's dick last week, and they replayed his dick this week. So, yeah, man, it's going to be all nude everything. Plus, we saw Eva Marie's boobs on SmackDown with her wardrobe malfunction. Yeah, absolutely. Next week, bringing back chair shots to the head.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Absolutely. We saw it this week with kendo sticks.
Yeah, but no one took a kendo stick to the head.
They were bleeding like from the giant gash forehead.
You were watching something on the network.
Something completely different.
You were watching
the last Battle of Atlanta.
Yeah, it wasn't Raw.
No, I think they've been easing into this a little bit.
Well, I think they're bringing back certain elements, but I don't think we're going to see a wholesale change back to Attitude Era storytelling.
I think they're simply whatever is most effective that isn't offensive, they're going to do. I think they want to keep blood out of it because, you don't want
can turn away.
Watching.
It can turn away sponsors.
It can turn away sponsors, but I think, when there's comedic nudity to be had that isn't like wholly offensive, then they'll do it. I think that's good. We're definitely out of the PG era.
Yeah.
That's for sure. James Rodriguez. After seeing Sheamus start a fight in a bar, much like he did in the 2K17 commercial, how much more do you believe that someone in creative watches your show, since Steve has been asking for that a lot lately? Have I been asking for that?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that. I just open my mouth and things come out, and then we upload it, and I have no idea what happened.
There was a couple things last night, though, that I felt like someone could have been watching the show, and then it happened.
Yeah.
But that happens kind of every week.
Whenever there's a good show, it's just what we want to have happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, unless Goldberg's not facing Rusev at WrestleMania, but then that's too much. That's too much money. I feel like a low-level writer might watch the show.
Okay.
I think a low-level writer. So he can't do too much.
Yeah.
But he can do some.
Yeah. Eddie Men's question this week is, which superstar do you think could replicate the long title reign of Bruno had it ever...
If it was ever a possibility.
Sorry, I can't read this week. I'm sorry. If it was ever a possibility. He could be from any era and any company.
Which superstar?
We had this similar question within the last couple of weeks. I think so. Like believably,
well,
Brock.
we said
Brock.
That's probably the only guy. I think that if Brock had like signed like a full-time thing, I mean their whole line of reasoning on Brock was, for him being a part-time champion was people back in the day were used to seeing a part-time champion.
Yeah. Well, even in UFC, the title's not defended even every month.
Yeah.
What, 2-3 times a year at most?
Yeah. So I think Brock was probably the closest that we could have had to it, simply because he's so believable. He is so utterly believable. He's the most believable monster that we've ever had in this era. So it could have been Brock. John Herkoff, how would you book a feud for Titus O'Neil and his current Titus brand gimmick? It has potential, but it hasn't been viewed as serious. That's absolutely true. How would you book Titus?
Who's got the most well-known individual brand in WWE right now? John Cena.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were asking rhetorically.
No.
Yeah, John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena. So,
yeah, Titus O'Neil and John Cena
you
angle together?
You have to build up
You're
to it.
insane.
You have to build up to it.
Yeah.
But if you really want to push Titus,
Yeah.
make him a credible, profitable brand,
Okay.
a legitimate threat. Push him as a heel.
That's the problem with Titus. They've never
I know.
used him as a legitimate threat.
I know.
So it's so hard. It's so hard to build somebody back into that.
Push him. Take 6 months. Put him in a program with Cena, and put Cena's brand on the line. If Titus wins, he gets John Cena's brand.
Titus would work so much better on SmackDown.
I know.
Okay, here's what you do. You put Titus in some sort of feud or program with Heath Slater.
Yeah.
They both are basically the same thing, you know. In terms of how they're taken, he's not taken as a legitimate threat.
Yeah.
You know, and he's not doing a brand or anything, but he has the same sort of gimmick that like doesn't really go anywhere. Titus's gimmick doesn't really go anywhere. So put him in a feud together. I don't know how.
Well, at least be tag team partners.
Oh, that's right. That's probably why I think they'd make sense together, because they used to be tag team partners. But Titus on SmackDown.
Feud with John Cena for John Cena's brand.
Yes. No. That's a horrible idea. Jefferson Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion. Imagine each of you are the head. I like this question. Imagine each of you are the head of talent for Raw 6 months ago. Given that you only had enough money for one of these scenarios, which do you choose and what do you do with it? Scenario 1, you can have the Cruiserweight Classic as it is now, or the Cruiserweight division, but you book it differently or place it on SmackDown. Or you signed, this is a no-brainer. You signed Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks from New Japan and Adam Cole, baby, and Jay Lethal with the rights to the Bullet Club and all associated logos and merch. This is not even a question.
No.
You signed Kenny Omega, the Bucks, Adam Cole, and Jay Lethal, and the Bullet Club. Are you kidding me? I would flush the Cruiserweight division down the toilet. Oh my goodness. Kenny Omega?
Yeah.
What would you rather have on WWE programming, Kenny Omega or the entire Cruiserweight division? Kenny Omega!
I don't know. Cedric Alexander is pretty darn good.
Kenny freaking Omega. You know, I forgot about it. I had a thought about Cedric Alexander, too. You know who I liken him to? You know who they should model his career after?
Who?
Only without the weed thing? RVD. He can do that. Just sort of that cocky, laid-back, normal guy. And be so super over,
Yeah.
he could be the next RVD.
Yeah.
Just lose the weed thing.
Yeah.
I always thought that was so weird and unnecessary. But so many people swear by it. And I'm totally willing to admit that I get that people love weed. You know? I understand that. And so I understand they'd want somebody as cool as RVD to be their rep. Who wouldn't? I just felt like it was so unnecessary for his character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like, maybe not.
no, I mean, it kind of he made it part of his character.
I guess. I always thought it was unnecessary. I was like, why does he have to be the weed guy? I always feel like the weed thing is so unnecessary. Like, people who proclaim themselves to be stoners and like live by weed culture, I don't get it. I'm like, it's just a thing that you smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
I just don't get it.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it's not my thing. I've never never been a big weed guy.
Yeah.
As much as we joke about it, people think that we're like big stoners. We're not.
Nope.
We like the drink.
Yeah.
You know, and even me, I like food. Like, if there's a vice to be had, it's food and boobies. That's so bad. Oh, man.
Randy, there have been feuds without the standard blow-off matches in the past, to where the rivalry never ends and it picks back up from time to time. I'm okay if they keep doing this with Charlotte and Sasha. It's great wrestling and great storytelling. What are your thoughts?
No. I need a blow-off match.
I don't.
Really?
No.
Just keep on just doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how great rivalries are made.
Yeah. No blow-offs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Food and boobies.
Okay. Nicholas Viola. What is it with WWE's obsession with people losing in their hometown? Both Cedric Alexander and Charlotte took losses in their hometown, and it's not been the first time it's happened lately. Do you think the pop of winning in your hometown would be bigger than the heat on beating someone in their hometown.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of heel heat gained from like.
Especially when there's no storyline leading up to the defeat in terms of Cedric Alexander and Tony Nese last night.
That's gotta be like a weird Vince thing, right?
I guess. I don't understand it.
That's gotta be like a weird Vince thing.
I don't get it.
Eric Base Hit King Blah.
No, you skipped one.
Retired Dwayne Nix.
Yes, 30-time European champion.
That's not even true.
It is true.
Sasha wins her third women's title just to lose at a roadblock. If that does happen, what's the point in giving Sasha the strap of her title reign? Reigns are always short.
It's good storytelling.
Storytelling.
Good storytelling.
Eric Base Hit King
Going
Blah.
back to the Attitude Era question.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the length of title reigns during the Attitude Era.
They were so short.
Pretty short.
They were
Usually
so
because
short.
they use the belt to enhance stories.
And they had so much talent.
Yes.
I'm tired of WWE taking breaks in the middle of the matches, says Eric Blaha. We're being robbed of dramatic live spots that lose context in the show and during replays and after the ads. Why do you think that WWE just doesn't go picture in picture instead of ruining the story being told? I'm pretty sure it's contractual. I don't think they're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So, I
agree. I mean, especially during major matches.
Yeah, no, they need to figure that out better.
Mm-hmm. Like, have like a 5-minute commercial break. Begin the third hour at the 10 o'clock hour.
What they should do is just like stop the match and then have both contestants look towards the camera A and do
reads.
Do reads.
That's a good idea.
Do reads. Do you like Blue Apron? Do you like eating good? Alex Foster. Would you keep Tony Nese and Drew Gulak in the Cruiserweight division or have them compete as a tag team, considering Raw needs more tag teams? No, keep them in the Cruiserweight division. I don't want... I'm not even huge on Drew Gulak, to be honest with you.
I know you're not.
I love Tony Nese, though. I don't like the King Arthur thing. What the fuck is he wearing a King Arthur outfit for?
Has it been confirmed that's what he's trying to do?
How is it not?
That's a good question.
I look at it. I mean, what's the alternative? He's one of them dudes from them restaurants? What's it called?
Oh, Medieval Times?
Medieval Times? Is he a waiter there? A pantsless waiter from Medieval Times? I would actually be on board with that gimmick.
I mean, I've been to Medieval Times, but I think all the waiters had to wear pants.
I know, but that's his thing. He doesn't. And that's why he's always... did you hear the kid from SmackDown, the guy from Spirit Squad?
Oh, yeah, you got fired.
He got fired. You're fired. He's going all in on thinking they're going to keep the Spirit Squad around. Eric Hobson, you read.
When this new era has run its course, another new era replaces it. What do you think this new era will be called? Diminished Returns era? Revolving Door era?
Yeah, the super new era. I don't know, man. The blue era.
The newest.
The newest.
The newest
yeah,
era.
The latest era. Leonardo Abrahante. The Hell in a Cell ending Charlotte and Sasha match was kind of weird. Where was your question like a month ago? Do you think Charlotte winning at Hell in a Cell was a botch by the ref explaining why Sasha won the belt back on Raw?
No.
No.
Storytelling.
Yeah. Undisputed champion Marty. Too sweet.
Not going to happen.
No.
Do you think it's time for The Rock to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year since it's in his home state of Florida? Who would induct The Rock?
Welcome to my house.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Yeah, I know, me too. I think that... Why hasn't The Rock been inducted yet? Isn't that weird? That's weird.
Because he's still a part-time performer.
No, he's not.
Same reason Triple H hasn't been inducted yet.
Triple H. I think Triple H's year, they're going to induct Triple H, Terrorizing, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and John Paul Levesque.
And DX.
and DX.
And Paul Levesque.
And like CEO.
Yeah, as contributor to the industry.
Or CO, whatever he is.
COO, yeah. Well, that's a television role. He's like executive vice president of talent relations and creative or something like that.
So Paul Levesque, COO, on screen.
Oh, yeah. No, Triple H, COO.
Triple H, COO on screen.
And then Paul Levesque.
Yeah, exactly.
Last one.
Colin. Do you see Alicia Fox and Cedric Alexander being something good for Cedric or bad for him? Alicia Fox is a very attractive woman. I think it's nothing but good for him.
Yeah. No, like I said earlier, I think it's great that they're not just treating the cruiserweights as a self-contained division.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want to see stories that go beyond the cruiserweight division with the cruiserweight competitors.
Yes or no?
What?
Live sex show, Cedric Alexander, Alicia Fox. Yes or no? Every storyline that involves a relationship, we should see a live sex show.
Okay.
I'm in for that.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
I'm in for that. So hopefully, whoever's listening to this, that's writing
The low-level writer,
that listens to the show, they're gonna sneak in a live sex show. I don't know how you're gonna sneak that in though. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to get my list up.
What is it time for?
You tell me.
Kayfabe Corner.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Wrestling Trivia Challenge.
Pro Wrestling Trivia Challenge.
That isn't our SmackDown Trivia Challenge, which is actual trivia.
Yeah, well, there's trivia in Kayfabe, too. There's 2 trivia questions.
I like Kayfabe.
6
Corner.
names.
Okay.
Sorry, 12 names, 6 real, 6 fake, 2 trivia questions. 14 is a perfect score.
I am so out of contention in this because I'm back by like 12, right?
11.
11? Okay.
So the vote this week for this week's theme was between 2 of the more kind of disliked horsemen, 4 horsemen in history.
Lex Luger and who?
Paul Roma and Sid.
Sid had to have won, right? Nobody knows who Paul Roma is.
Yeah, Sid won.
Landslide, are you kidding me?
Yeah, pretty much. Are you ready?
Bill Udy. Fake.
It's not a name on here.
Okay, go ahead.
Number 1, Troy Kelly.
Oh, wait, shit, I got to take chat off because these fools might start. Was it Troy Kelly?
Yeah.
Real.
Fake.
Bummer.
2, Joey Knight.
Real.
Yeah. 3, Dick Warren.
Dick Warren. That's a good name. Let's say real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
4,
Okay.
Lewis Murphy.
Fake.
Yeah. 5, Walker Johnson.
What? Fake.
Yeah.
Okay.
6, Axe Malice.
Ooh, what a good name. Real.
Fake.
Okay.
7, Major Stash.
I feel like I know that. That's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was this 8?
What was Major Stash?
I don't remember.
Okay.
8, Kane Bauer.
Kane Bauer. God, that sounds familiar. I'll say real.
Fake.
Okay.
9, Universal Heartthrob.
Real.
Yeah. 10, Chris Cannonball.
Fake.
Real. What are you at right now? 6. 11, Johnny Caldwell.
Caldwell?
Mm-hmm.
It's awkward. I'll say fake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Last one.
Okay.
Tempest.
Real.
Yeah. You got
8.
All right. 2 trivia questions.
Okay.
When Sid joined the 4 Horsemen, it was to counter the strength of who?
Okay. It was to counter the strength of. Strength of. I'm gonna say. Fuck. Sting.
I'll give you a hint. If you get the answer based on this hint, I won't award you a point.
Okay.
Your hint is Lewis Murphy.
Oh God! Oh, that's great, RoboCop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I like Lewis Murphy. That's Murphy, obviously, and his
Okay,
partner.
I should-
Last
yeah.
name was Lewis.
Okay, that's good.
Second trivia question.
Okay.
What was Sid's gimmick?
What was I? Was I at 8?
Yeah, you have 8.
Okay.
What was Sid's gimmick upon his return to WCW in 1999?
What was his gimmick upon his return in 1999?
Yeah. I don't remember this either. When I saw it, I was like, I don't remember that at all.
Were they doing a riff on his softball thing? Softball player?
No.
What?
The Millennium Man.
I vaguely remember that, and I don't think it meant anything.
No,
Like,
actually,
what-
on Wikipedia it said that Jericho. It was like a riff on Jericho's gimmick in WWF at the time. Because it's a countdown to the Millennium.
Right. So they did that. They did like a countdown thing.
No, I think they just called him the Millennium Man. I think that was it.
Yeah, right. They didn't really do like it was just Sid.
Yeah, it was just Sid.
I got 8. 8's good.
Yeah, 8's good.
Very happy with 8. So I've chipped away. Now I'm down by 3.
Yes.
All right. Well, hopefully tomorrow or next week you'll get 0.
Not going to happen.
Anyways, ProWrestlingTees.com/Going in Raw. You guys can check out our shirt there.
Yes, please.
And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.